Did you know that CERN, the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, the Georgia Guidestones, and the landfall of Hurricane Katrina are all located along the same 666-degree line from the Temple of Apollo in Delphi, Greece? Stay tuned to learn more. Hello and welcome to the Prophetic Analytics channel, where ancient prophecies meet mathematics. On this channel, a mathematician with over 20 years of big data analysis experience calculates supernatural and numerical connections between biblical prophecies and current events. This is a particularly good time to start this channel because we've got a lot to talk about. Last week, CERN reactivated their particle accelerator after a 4-year shutdown. The very next day, the Georgia Guidestones were bombed and then completely demolished. In this episode, we'll analyze how the Georgia Guidestones and CERN are both mathematically and geographically connected by verses in the book of Revelation. We'll also show how both sites are mathematically related to the infamous number 666. We'll also explore the connections between Apollo, who was both the sun god and the god of destruction. All of this includes a tie-in with the 9/11 attacks, as well as Hurricane Katrina. What do CERN and the Georgia Guidestones have in common? CERN is the world's most powerful physics laboratory and particle accelerator. It was reactivated last week on July the 5th, 4 years after it was closed in 2018. Among many other achievements, CERN is credited for discovering the Higgs boson, which was also called the God particle. Despite all of CERN's fantastic scientific feats, the great physicist Stephen Hawking once warned that CERN's technology could generate a world-ending catastrophe, though not at the current power levels. The Georgia Guidestones, sometimes called the American Stonehenge, functioned as a compass, calendar, and clock. The site has long been associated with the occult and various conspiracy theories, and there are good reasons for this. According to Wikipedia, the builders believed that a future social, nuclear, or economic disaster was coming, and they intended the monument to serve as a guide during the recovery process. Messages inscribed in the stone monument recommended keeping the Earth's population at less than 10% of current levels, as well as the implementation of a one-world government. The builders added fuel to the fire by choosing the date, 3/22/1980, as the official opening date. It's well known that the number 322 is associated with the mysterious Skull and Bones Society. George Bush Sr. and other important power brokers are known members. In recent news, Candace Taylor, a Georgia gubernatorial candidate in the upcoming November election, has said during her campaign that the Guidestones should be destroyed. The site was bombed and partially destroyed at 4 a.m. on Wednesday, July 6th, one day after CERN reopened. The Guidestones were completely demolished later in the same day as a safety precaution. Both CERN and the Guidestones appear to have a scriptural, mathematical, and geographic relationship to the number 666, as well as the 9/11 attacks in 2001. Are these all coincidences, or are they something else? In the book of Revelation, Jesus Christ left us one math problem: solve the meaning of the number of the beast. The enigma of 666 has mystified Christians and others since it was written in Revelation 13:18, almost 2,000 years ago. Let the one with understanding solve the meaning of the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. The key to the solution to 666 is found in another verse, Revelation 9:11. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue has his name Apollyon. In English, the Greek Apollyon is known as Apollo. His name means destroyer, and he was also the Greek god of the sun. The ancient Greeks worshipped him at his primary temple in Delphi, Greece. The city of Delphi was important for many reasons. It was the location of Apollo's temple, it was the site of the original Olympic Games, and it was home to the famed Oracle of Delphi. The first solution to 666 begins on the grounds of the Temple of Apollo. Here's how CERN and the Guidestones are connected to each other, to the sun god, to 9/11 and to 666. Stand at the Apollo temple and face due north, which equals a 0-degree heading. Then, like a figure skater or a dancer, spin a full 360 degrees clockwise. You'll find yourself facing due north again at 0 degrees. Continue to spin clockwise another 306 degrees for a total of 666 degrees from your original starting position. Now you face northwest. The 666-degree angle is shown by a red line drawn on both panels in this image. Now travel from that point in a straight line over the curved globe without turning left or right. Where does this path take you? Here's a hint. Apollo is mentioned only one time in the Bible, in Revelation 9:11. The prophetic manifestations of Revelation 9:11 and 13:18 are hidden in plain sight. As you can see, CERN and the Georgia Guidestones are located along the same 666-degree line drawn thousands of kilometers from Apollo's temple. So are the former World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and the Louisiana landfall of Hurricane Katrina's eye. The World Trade Center was built at a 666.83-degree angle, and the Pentagon is located at 666.66 degrees from the temple in Delphi. These lines are known as Great Circle routes. A Great Circle route is the closest path one can take between 2 points along the curved surface of the globe. These paths are not arbitrarily selected, they are the closest possible path. Furthermore, as best as I can measure, the eye of Hurricane Katrina landed in Louisiana after a previous landfall in Florida at precisely 666.0 degrees from Delphi. The Guidestones are the second closest to the line of destruction, about 1/10 of 1 degree away from exactly 666 degrees. CERN is the most distant at 1.9 degrees off the line. Hurricane Katrina has much more detail than what I show here in this video. In a later episode, we will explore the complete analysis of Katrina's track, landfall, and other mathematical aspects of the hurricane. What do all these sites have in common? They are all associated with destruction. Starting in Delphi, we have Apollo, the Greek god of destruction. Moving west, we pass by CERN, and we have the warning of destruction from Stephen Hawking. We cross the ocean and we reach the World Trade Center at 666.83 degrees, and the Pentagon at 666.66 degrees. The World Trade Center was destroyed on 9/11. The Pentagon was damaged, but it also represents humanity's most destructive military power. After passing by the Pentagon, we cross close to the Georgia Guidestones, located at 665.89 degrees, about 1/10 of 1 degree from directly on the line. The Guidestones were destroyed last week, and they were intended as a guide to help humanity recover from destruction. We finally reached the site of the landfall of Hurricane Katrina, located at 666.0 degrees. Hurricane Katrina destroyed most of New Orleans and is a reminder of the Great Flood. Thus, the 666-degree line from Apollo's temple begins and ends with destruction. This is the fate of humanity, underlying the need for a savior. Thus, the 666 line from Apollo's temple begins and ends with destruction. This is the eventual fate of humanity, despite the power of our knowledge represented at CERN, despite our wealth and riches represented at the World Trade Center, despite our military power represented by the Pentagon, despite our plans to recover from destruction represented by the Georgia Guidestones. I believe that this is the meaning of the number of the beast that Christ ordered us to solve. We can't save ourselves. We're headed for destruction, and we need a savior. It takes a lot of faith to believe that God doesn't exist. But what do you think? Are these all coincidences? Is it evidence of supernatural activity, or is it something else entirely? Please let us know in the comments down below, and please hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss the next episode of Prophetic Analytics. We have 7 more episodes in development and expect to publish them about 1 per week. And now for a little shameless self-promotion. If the analysis presented here interests you, then please take a look at my website, ericgilesauthor.com. You'll find a link to my new book on my website. Revelation Decoded contains similar content to what you've seen here, but in much greater detail.